What's up, horse racing fans? Welcome to another episode of the Inside Post. This week we have horse racing for you all. I know we've been doing some football stuff in the past, but here we are kicking off the Kentucky Derby points races. I know we're early on in the year. We do have the Iroquois and Pocahontas, the Kentucky Oaks points starting as well. So we're going to go through these, give you our best picks, and possibly one long shot in each of these races for Saturday, September 16th back at Churchill Downs. So let's look first off at the Pocahontas, this Grade 3 stakes race. Again, for Kentucky Oaks points for the fillies. These 2-year-old fillies are trying to make it big and famous for their connections, for their trainers, and get into the Kentucky Oaks. So going to start right out of the gate with this Empire Island Classic Empire filly for Norm Cassie, coming in from Saratoga Maiden Special. Broke her maiden in that Maiden Special back on August 6th. Comes in off a win. Norm Cassie knows how to train him, coming in off a great victory at Saratoga and coming out of a pretty good class field of horses. Also, Pignor, possibly, is how this one is. Mendelssohn filly in here, first time won, broke maiden at Ellis Park. Again, back August. This one's kind of turning around a little quicker. Running in here for Rudolph Brissett. Ripperton, Constitution filly for Paulo Lobo. Second in the debutante. Tries to come in here again. Out of that somewhat of a big stakes race at Ellis Park. Regal Rumor, Wayne Catalano, another one who broke her maiden at Ellis Park on that August 26th card. Kind of like the pedigree in here out of that Quinteros sire line. This one could be interesting at a decent price, I guess you could say, for, well, I guess not Regal Rumor. This one is ridden by Michelle, possibly 20-1. Biggest, not really the biggest price, but one of the biggest prices in here, outside of some of the other ones. So interesting here, 20-1. What do you say? It's coming off a win, just like Pignor, also coming off of a win, that 30-1 price. The big favorite in here is VV's Dream with Brian Hernandez. Kenny McPeak again coming out of that debutante. I believe is where it kind of was in a dead heat with Ripperton in here, but 7-5 favorite currently for VV's Dream. Could possibly be a single in here. Just looks to be the better horse. Hot Beach Ripperton, the other two coming out of the debutante, also look pretty good. I just think the speed, the stalking style, fast or slow pace should not matter. VV's Dream is definitely one that's set up. Could be sitting on one of her bigger races coming in here. I don't think we're going to get the 7-5 on her. She's going to be probably pretty heavily favored. I mean, if you look at all these other prices, she's nowhere close. Or some of the other horses are nowhere close to what her odds are. So, looking at some of the other prices in here, you almost had me for Tyler Gaffleone. I like this one. I'm a sucker for Oxbow sires or offsprings, so I kind of like this one. Brad Cox trained third again in that debutante behind VV's Dream and Pignor. So probably going to take a swing, as this is going to be my second choice at You Almost Had Me, just because, again, I like Oxbows. And then further outside, you have Corba, possibly is how it's pronounced, Corbet, for Rafael Bejarano. Again, 10-1 is not a bad price. And then you have Hot Beach all the way at the outside. The 9-hole with Flavy on Pratt. This one is a Omaha Beach filly trained by Brian Lynch. Corbet, was trained by Todd Pletcher, both coming out of wins. Hot Beach is the winner, or was the winner at the Ellis Park Debutante. I think just that Vivi's Dream will get a better setup in here to be able to beat out Hot Beach and Pignor. And who else the other one? You Almost Had Me. So Vivi's Dream is probably our top pick. You Almost Had Me going with our second. And then it's kind of a close between if we're going to use Hot Beach or possible Regal Rumor as our other two long shot choices in here. Setting up for a pretty good race, and obviously there's ways to make money off of the exactas trifectas. So definitely going to be something where you could use a lot of the horses under. Okay, so now the biggest race, the one that's going to catch all the eyes, is the Iroquois. Again, the early Kentucky Derby prep coming in with a pretty good field of, I believe there's 9 runners. We have Liberal Arts for Robert Medina, West Saratoga, Rafael Bejarano, and Larry Dermite. Union Roll with Garado and Top Pletcher, Edified, Ricardo, and Steve Asmussen. Market Street, Gabe and D. Wayne. Dwayne has another one in here and sees the gray, giving Jamie Torres aboard. Flavion Pratt, Brad Cox team up again with Gettysburg Address. Big price at 39 to 1. Risk It, Tyler Gaffleon, Steve Asmussen again. It's 5 to 2. Pretty much the favorite. And then we have Patriot Spirit for Jesus Castana and Michael Campbell. Again, pretty good field here for the Iroquois. Risk It will probably be a pretty heavy favorite coming in. Basically had a dominant gate to wire debut at Saratoga 4 weeks ago. Tyler Gaffleon returns to the irons for this horse. Outside gate gives him a pretty good shot for a good trip with his speed. Definitely going to have to prove that he's going to be able to handle more on the front end. And if he's going to have to go a little bit faster just because it's a little bit deeper of a field. Next, we're probably going to take a swing in here at one of the Asmussen trained, or the other Asmussen trained. Edified is interesting. And Seize the Gray, the other D. Wayne Lucas, the bigger price D. Wayne Lucas, even though I feel like Seize the Gray is going to take a ton of money. Broke his maiden again at Saratoga on the dirt, was on a sloppy track. In his second asking, I believe it was like late July, cut back to that 5.5, finishing third, had some awful trouble. So hopefully they got this horse figured out, worked out the kinks, and putting him in here in a good place to pick up a pretty good win if he stays at that 8 to 1, 10 to 1 possibility of a morning line. And again, next, or the other pick for us, if we can get Seize the Gray at that 15, 10 to 1, who knows what it'll be. That's great. Risk It's going to be the heavy favorite in here. Gettysburg Address, I don't know why on my blip it shows 39 to 1. I don't think that horse is 39 to 1. Unless something crazy has changed. That horse will probably be 6 to 1 or is 6 to 1. This could just be an error on my odds board. So Gettysburg Address is interesting with Brad Cox here, trained for Flavion Pratt, or gets Flavion Pratt aboard for Brad Cox. Son of Constitution, winner at his debut at Ellis Park for Windstar Farms. Trader, again, is Brad Cox. He did get blinkers in that race and was 8 to 1 as he won. So interesting to come in here. Hopefully he should get blinkers yet again. And I think this will be a good battle between Flavion and Tyler with these two horses. And hopefully the big Arrogant Gray Sees the Gray with Dwayne Lucas kind of sneaks up at a huge price. The other one you kind of got to take note of or watch out for was probably the big, the other Asmussen trained and Edified. Again, this shows 29 to 1 on my screen, 6 to 1 currently ish on some of the other sites. So I don't know. This is a little bit outdated probably. But definitely kind of got to take note of that Tappet Sire or Tappet line. Again, another debut winner. He beat Liberal Arts out in here after pressing the pace. big odds at 10-1 and drew off by 3.5 lengths in a big field of 9. So Edify definitely has some characteristics that people are going to look at coming into this race. Went to Stakes Company in the Saratoga Special. He got bumped 3 times. I mean, it was terrible, absolutely terrible. And then basically just kind of lost all chances. So could be a 1-2 horse in here with Edify and Risk It, Steve Asmussen running 1-2. We're going to try to sneak a price in here with Seize the Gray and possibly Gettysburg Address to kind of round out our top 4 for the Iroquois. Seize the Gray would be our price pick. Edified, kind of our second, third option, and Risk It, the Gunrunner Colt, being our number 1 so far. So there's our picks for the Iroquois and Pocahontas on our early Kentucky Derby prep series. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Continue following us, showing us support, giving us all the support that we love from our horse racing fans. We hope you win big and keep playing those ponies.